Welcome to FPB's Meet the Candidates. This Cable 10 series allows you, the viewers, to get to know our local candidates a little bit better and talk about issues that are important to our community. We've taken questions through social media, through emails, through civic groups, all to gather information about topics that we want to know about in our community and how our local candidates will address those. This is all leading up to the general election, which is on November 8th. And we do this so that you can get informed before you go vote. So today our guest is Larry Perkins, and he is a candidate for Franklin County School Board. So let's talk to him and see what he has to say. Welcome, Larry.
Welcome. I'm glad to be here, and I really thank the Plank Board for having this every time. It's a great way for the community to be able to connect with the candidates.
Well, that's what we're here for. So first off, you currently serve on the Franklin County School Board, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so won't you just tell us, in case people don't know who you are, tell us a little bit about yourself and why you've decided to run again.
Been with the Franklin County School Board. I was with them for 4 years prior, and then this 4 years. And I've really enjoyed. We have a great superintendent. If it was a lot of chaos and a lot of stuff going on, but we've got a good person at the helm of this ship, and I'm really proud to be able to work with him, and I'm hoping, like I said, I want to work with him another 4 years. We've accomplished a whole lot in the 4 years that I've been here. Anything that I've set out to do, we've been able to accomplish. We've went through the pandemic. It's worst part of the probably the 4 years, and nobody really knew how to handle that, but we did it. We've got through it, and we was able to get through it, and everybody seemed to, we had people that complained a little bit, but we did what was best for our students, and we always erred on caution.
Okay. So for people who might not know or be in the know, so what are the responsibilities of the school board, and how does that role differ from the role of superintendent or administration?
We are actually the superintendent's boss, and also we vote on whether to raise taxes, lower taxes. We vote on all policies and procedures that takes place in the school system. Any policies that's taking place, we vote on that. Whether to build a new school, whether to build something, whether to appropriate money for different programs, and set up different programs and be aware of those programs.
Okay. Is there a particular issue that motivates you to be on the school board?
Well, I just love students, and I'm glad to, this community. One of the big things by working in this community for several years, and I started out with the Foster Care Review Board, and I saw the needs of a lot of these students that has nothing, has come from nothing, and really needs an opportunity to be able to change their lives. And my goal is that every child succeed, and that's been our motto for the Franklin County school system, put in place last year. Mm-hmm. So every kid succeeds. So those kids that are used to fall through the cracks, we're trying to make sure that they get what they need, that they can go out and be successful in life and in our community, be able to contribute.
Okay. Well, I know recently one of our schools had a local bomb threat.
Yes.
There, in other places, there have been school shootings, and I know this is very concerning not only for parents and law enforcement, but also for schools,
yes.
School boards, and districts. So what are ways that the school board is looking to increase student safety, school safety? What are some actions you all are looking at, or something that you'd like for the school to be doing?
Well, we've added some more officers into our school systems. We've now got officers in our middle schools.
So is that school resource officers?
Yes, school
and there's
resource
one at every
officers.
school?
Not at all schools.
Okay.
We've got it at middle school and high school,
Okay.
and then also of our alternative schools.
Okay.
And then we've got a gentleman that's over all of those. So he works with our safety and our threat and risk assessments. I've gone to school for that and to figure out, threat and risk assessments. One of the other things we've done, we've put counselors in all the schools and mental health folks, these psychologists or So we've put some of those in a lot of our schools. Some of them, they're split their times. But mental health has been a big issue. I mean, it's throughout the nation. We're having a lot more suicides. We're having probably, 7 people die a month from overdoses. So this mental health is a big thing. If we can get a hold of that, we can prevent some of this stuff from happening. Some of our kids may be acting out or whatever, and if you can get them with a mental health expert, it really helps.
Are there currently any intervention systems set up in the school?
Well, like I said, by putting those mental health folks into the schools, they can have those kids assigned to one of those folks and get that. And also, legislators have put in mental health days for kids if they have to go to a doctor or physical, something of that nature.
Sure.
We can get that. And with the police officers being in the schools, we are constantly putting in place, badges to get in and out. But when somebody really wants to do something evil, they're going to be able to do it. But if you'll notice, most of our kids, a lot of these school shootings is young folks that's doing these. And a lot of it is video games. These video games are very graphic. And, so them seeing somebody bloody or whatever is not really changes the course of their path. What I've saw when I went up to EKU to the Citizens Police Academy, we had a young lady that was probably 20, and she had never fired a gun in her life. We had a bunch of us guys that was pretty active with guns, and she beat us all, because she had played video games.
Yeah.
And so that's what's going on a lot with our community.
Okay. We're talking about the officers in the schools. So are those actual police officers?
Yes, they're with the Sheriff's Department.
Okay. And so how are those people paid? Where does their salary come from?
They are paid through us. We pay the Franklin County Sheriff's Office. We contribute so much. I can't remember exact figure, but we give that money for that to be paid. We've worked really closely with Chris Squire. We've actually upped, where he collects taxes and stuff for us. We gave him a little bit more so that he can, for patrol cars and stuff like that to be able. And anything that we've asked of the Franklin County Sheriff's Department or the City Police Department, they've been there. We try to have officers come to schools to have lunch as often as possible. That way their presence. And kids don't look at officers. We're trying to get them not to look at officers as a threat, but as somebody that they can go to. We've had officers to be in schools that have a bold presence, but we've had other officers, they've got changed around over the last few years, and we've got officers in the schools that actually connects with the kids, become friends with the kids, and they'll come to them and make them aware of situations.
Okay. Well, serving on a board can have its challenges, I'm sure, because there's however many different personalities and views about how things should work. So, for you, what is the best way to address differences of opinion on the board or between the board and the administration?
My philosophy is, we all got a job to do. That's why they have a board. We all got different personalities and represent different districts. And so when we come together, we can all agree to disagree. And when we vote, however it may come about, then, we get up from that, and hopefully we're all still friends afterwards. That is our goal. And at the bottom line is kids are number one. Our children, we've got to make sure that they're put in the forefront and make sure they're number one, that we keep looking at them. And if we're focused on them, we're going to make the best choice for the child.
Okay. Have you ever found yourself in a spot where you've had to support a board decision that you didn't vote for?
Yes, a couple of times I know with the mask issue, whether to wear a mask, we had folks come for the mask, and we had folks come and, against the mask. And so again, it was, I wasn't totally for the mask, but with our superintendent, he's always done what is best for our children. He's out there every day in there. just got the board meeting last night. We don't have masks in schools now. We're running about 95% attendance. So now we had about 4 days that it was kind of low, but I was shocked, because I'm hearing, COVID's, on the rise or whatever. But we've been able to, with having some nurses in our schools and different things, they're able to get a hold of these things very quickly. And so that being said, I voted for the mask when they was, because from the recommendation of the superintendent, when it, probably my personal opinion was I didn't want the mask.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think there are ways that the board can be more accessible to the community as far as, like our specific community groups where you can get more input from the community or be more transparent with the community?
Well, right now, I know with mine, and I've asked the superintendent, and that's something I want to kind of emphasize more. I know when I was a magistrate, your email, your personal email, and your personal cell phone was put out there for them to be able to, for folks to be able to get a hold of you. With the school board, they have a school email address, which, you have to have a school computer to get through that, and a lot of times you don't have access to that like I would a cell phone or
Right.
my personal, where it's always on there. So
Right.
I think that's good. I've always emphasized for people, one of the things that I fought for when I was on the school board before is to have student representatives. When I got back on the board, we started pushing for that again. We just have 2 representatives now that's on the school board that was put on there last night. The one gentleman that's on there, he made a lot of good suggestions on topics that we had, and it was, I think that's a great input. If you've got kids that's very involved in the schools, they go to give you the insight there
Right.
that you otherwise wouldn't have.
Right. Well, we've talked about, dealing with COVID and then the masks and then, kids worried about their school safety, bullying, mental health problems, substance abuse problems. So given all the issues that arise, how can the board stay focused on student achievement?
Well, that's one of the big things. I think we have a lot of stuff going on in our school systems. We have a lot of these, I call them radical groups, that's wanting to get them to teach this or teach that. But our goal as a board and as our superintendent is to teach that child and to prepare that child to where they go out into the workforce and they go out into the community, they can be successful. All that other stuff is just kind of stuff that these groups are trying to push. But I think we need to continue to make sure that they're taught what they need to be taught. Make sure we have the best teachers available. One of the things we was 90th. In 2000, when I first came on board, we was 90th in teachers' pay, so we was losing a lot of teachers. There was a lot of teacher turnover. Since I've been on there, we've got teachers' pay up here. We're now 29th in out of 171 school districts. We're 29th in teachers' pay now, so we're way up there at the top. We're getting a lot of these teachers back from other surrounding counties. So we're still short teachers. We're short bus drivers. That is one of our big issues is bus drivers. We would hope to have, we'd like to have about eight or 10 more bus drivers. We've got our superintendents, people in central office, mechanics and different ones having to drive the buses.
Yeah, yeah. So as we're closing out here, and again, you've been on the school board for several years, but in the coming term that you'll be looking at, what goals would you like for the school board to accomplish, or just for the school system itself?
I would like to see our bus garage, expanded and bring it up to date. It's old. I'd like to get the old round building, the old central office building, get it demolished and get it cleaned up, and it's just an eyesore. It was a great architectural back in the days, but it's a nightmare now. but get some of these buildings that we've got, just like I worked to get central office all back under one roof. We had 3 buildings over there. It was a nightmare, them having to run between buildings. I was able to go out, find a building, and that we was able to save about $1.5 million because we had a tenant that's in there. It's actually going to be making the payments for the next 5 years for us. So we have them all back under one roof and be able to get our alternative schools all under one roof. And that way we can, when you got that consolidation, you've got more control. You've got police officers don't have to be spread out. They can be in one location. It's just a better way. I just want to see these schools. We've got one school we're looking at possibly starting here in the next year or so. Be able to get that done. We've been able to get our football fields turfed.
Oh, nice.
That's something that I worked on. I went all over the state looking at fields. Just by doing that, I found the best company that was available out there. Saved us about $100,000 on that. Facilities and construction is more my strong points, and I've been able to help in that aspect. Anytime we've had a building, I go into buildings and, with dealing with safety and stuff, I deal with those, and I understand, mold issues or whatever. So I always try to look at that when we're looking at buildings, older buildings or what have you, and hopefully we can make good decisions in the future and have a good, strong base, because during this COVID, we had a lot of federal money, and I know that money's going to dry up. So we're trying to make sure all of our buildings and all of our buses is in excellent shape, and we have our teachers in a good position to where when the money does get tight, that we'll be able to still continue to be successful in Franklin County.
Well, all right. With that, I'm going to turn it over to you and let you look directly into that camera and talk to our viewers and let them know why they need to vote for you on November 8th.
Well, I just appreciate your vote on November 8th. I feel like that I've supported this community well, tried to keep the taxes down. We've had 2 tax cuts for the last 2 years. So I'm hoping that we can continue to build our community and make our students and our school system stronger. And again, I asked for your vote on November the 8th. Larry Perkins, thank you.
All right, thank you so much. We appreciate you taking the time to sit down with us and talk about some of the stuff going on in our schools. I know our viewers appreciate it because they like to hear themselves from the candidates who are going to be on the ballot. So to our viewers, I will remind you that Election Day is November 8th, and that's why we're here, so that you can get more informed about who you would support in the election. So get informed, go vote on November 8th, then go home and turn on the Channel 10 and watch us with some live election returns coming straight to you from the county clerk's office. It's election season. It's time to get informed. And remember that your voice is your vote, so use it. Thank you.